guys, meteorologist Chris Tomer here with us on the Snow Before You Go forecast. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you get notified when my latest forecasts come out. All right, I want to start with this gorgeous view of Big Sky, Montana, and we are catching one of the tram cars coming back. What a beautiful sight. I mean, it has been crystal clear the last few days. Just want to enjoy this, seeing one of the cars come back. You've got snow coming with a big pattern shift the first week of February. I don't think you're going to start to see snow until late on the 31st, and then it's going to snow off and on, probably the first 5, 6 days of February, and there it comes. What a cool sight up there. Big Sky, Montana. All right, let me just set the table here with my bullet points. So currently dealing with a departing four corners low out of New Mexico and southern Colorado. So you still might have some snow early with that and potentially some good powder through a lot of Tahoe, Ski Santa Fe, Angel Fire, Cuchara, Colorado, the Sand Grays, and parts of southwest Colorado. So that could last into early this morning, but then that's going to depart. And then a new pattern is going to settle in early February with big bullseyes. I've got feet of accumulation for the Pacific Northwest, BC, Idaho, Wyoming, to a lesser degree, Utah, but not totally out of the mix. Colorado, I think, is once we get through the southern track low, Colorado's out of the mix. I really don't have much of anything for the central and northern mountains of Colorado for quite some time, unfortunately. So let me show you, let me just give you the lay of the land as far as water vapor satellite and mark the key features here. So on this, your oranges and reds are going to be your drier air, and the low levels, your moistures and the whites and the blues. And there is our area of low pressure, our southern track low, still putting down some snow, southern Colorado, New Mexico, but eventually that's going to depart, create some severe weather through Texas, and then eventually move up into the northeast. Look at this big monster out here. This area of low pressure, there's a big dip in the jet out here. All of this is going to become part of that pattern shift, and it's headed right there into the Pacific Northwest with heavy snow for BC, PNW, and central to northern California with heavy valley rains and heavy snow at higher elevations. And then there's going to be some serious overrun snow in Idaho, parts of Montana, especially the Tetons, and to some degree, it'll probably brush the Wasatch and the high Uintas. But I think that's where, and if I were to draw the jet pattern, it's going to look like this, and I'll show you what it looks like coming up. So it kind of leaves Colorado out of the mix. And we might even have a little bit of atmospheric river contribution late on the 31st into the 1st into the 2nd, a moderate contribution around that San Francisco Bay corridor up into the Sierra. So that could be a contributing factor as well in this forecast, enhancing some of that mountain snow and those valley rains. Here's my snow timeline. Best odds of snow for Big Sky, the Wasatch, Tetons, Colorado, interior BC, Tahoe, and the Northeast. So again, Big Sky, coming in late 131 to 2-1, 2-2, and then 2-3, and again 2-4 and 2-5. So an extended period. Waves of snow coming in off the Pacific. And the Wasatch 2-1, 2-2, moderate to heavy, light on 2-5. Tetons, big bullseye of mine, late 131 to 2-2, 2-4, and 2-5. Colorado, that's all part of the southern track low. You might have some new snow into the morning of 130 with the central and northern mountains largely out of it. Interior BC light initially, and then a heavy period of snow coming in with powder days 131 and 2-1. Tahoe, you can see the heavy potential there through 2-2, and then again 2-4, 2-5. Northeast, couple of shots of moderate snow. 130 would have good snow from the storm on 129, and then another shot of moderate 131, light 2-2 and 2-3. Another way to look at this is my spider chart. Odds of best snow over the next 7, 8, 9 days. More purple, higher on the web, better odds of new snow. So that's very low on the web. Very low probabilities for the central and northern mountains of Colorado. A little better for southern because you've got that southern track low. And then the highest areas on the web are the Tetons, Idaho, parts of Montana, interior BC, the Pacific Northwest, Oregon, and the northern mountains, central and northern mountains of the Sierra in California. So those are the areas in the Northeast to some degree. You've got clippers. So those are the areas more purple, higher on the web you're going to want to stick to with these forecasts. Let me talk about the jet stream. This is really important. So what I'm looking at here when I'm talking about the jet stream, are these winds at about 30,000 feet up in the atmosphere. I'm looking for the brighter colors, the reds, the oranges, the tans. That's going to be your higher winds at jet level, and these are what steer these storm systems around. You can see our cutoff area, well, not cutoff, but almost. Our area of low pressure sitting down in southeast Colorado, northern New Mexico. So we'll start this 5 a.m. Thursday, January 30th. Low moves out into the heartland, becomes a storm for the Midwest and eventually the Northeast. Here's 11 a.m. on Friday the 31st. Here's early Saturday, February 1st. Sorry, that was January 31st. This is February 1st right here. Look at the jet. This is all part of the new pattern, plowing into the Pacific Northwest, ushering lots of moisture, heavy cascade and volcano snow, heavy snow in parts of interior BC with overrun into Idaho, Montana, and the Tetons. There's late on Saturday, early Sunday, or excuse me, early Monday. There's early Tuesday. Now, as the jet sinks further to the south, it redistributes and starts to target more of California, Nevada, and eventually Utah, and the rest of Wyoming, and of course Idaho. But there's 11 a.m. on Tuesday, February 4th. There's early Wednesday, February 5th. And then potentially Colorado might get into the mix around 5, 6, 7. You can see how far south the jet is now, targeting those areas from California into Nevada, Utah, and maybe even into Colorado. So something to look forward to down the road. All right, so my official, no, let's go with snow. Let's do snow forecast here. Snow accumulation over time. So on this particular map, remember the light blues are corresponding to under 3 inches of accumulation. Once you pop into the greens, that's 3 to 6. Yellows and above, that's above 6. So we'll start this early Thursday, January 30th. You can see where the snow is accumulating. Southern Colorado, northern New Mexico, and it's starting to push a little wave of snow up towards Pueblo, Colorado Springs, the Palmer Divide around Monument Hill, and then out towards I-70 in Lyman. Very little appears to make it up into Denver, and very little appears to make it up to the Continental Divide of Colorado. All right, here we go. Here's lunchtime on Thursday, still accumulating in many of the same areas. Then the low starts to make its move. Here's late on Thursday the 30th, diminishes. Here's early Friday, January 31st. Look to the Pacific Northwest. That's our pattern shift coming in with heavy volcano and high cascade snow. Overrun into Idaho, BC, Northwest Montana at this point. Here's lunchtime Friday. Here's late on Friday, January 31st. Some snow down through the Sierra at higher elevations. Look at all that snow into Idaho and snow targeting the Wasatch, the high Uintas to some degree. You're really on that southern periphery, but heavy snow through the Tetons and some snow up there in Big Sky. Here's early Saturday, February 1st. Snow through the Wasatch, high Uintas, a lot of it up there in the Tetons, the Wind Rivers, Yellowstone, heavy snow through Idaho, northwest Montana, snow for the Pacific Northwest, a little bit left over in the Sierra. All right, here is lunchtime on Saturday, February 1st, and snow maybe a little bit kind of curls down over the northern mountains of Colorado. So you get an idea of where this snow is going to be moving. Here's my official forecast. So 1:30 through 2:3. We'll start in the Wasatch, 6 to 10 inches of accumulation with the higher end amounts up there at Alta, Snowbird, Solitude, Brighton. The Tetons are going to get nailed. 24 to 30 inches up there. I've got 10s up there through Big Sky and Bridger Bowl, Red Lodge. Colorado, man, just not much. Zeroed out, 0 to 1 for a lot of the central to northern mountains. The flow is just too far, just a little, you're too far to your north. You're out of it. Now, the southern mountains in northern New Mexico, some leftover snow on the morning of 1:30. In the Sierra, a little bit of snow for Mammoth, but you'll get more later in the period beyond 2-3. 10 to 12 up there around Tahoe, higher elevations, about 50 for Shasta. I mean, there's just going to be a copious amount of precip up there. It could be more than 50 at the higher elevations around Shasta. Even Lassen is going to get heavy snow. Now, at Mount Ashland, 12 to 20 inches. Some of that's going to be rain. 1 to 3 feet for the Pacific Northwest. The numbers up there in interior BC, 12 to 15 inches up there through Fernie, Revelstoke, Red Mountain, and Kicking Horse, and about 10 there for Marmot Basin, and only 2 down in Sunshine Bam. 1 to 2 feet through Idaho. So we've got some significant snow with powder days galore coming with this pattern shift. All right, up in the Northeast, 1:30 through 2-3, anywhere from 5 to 6 inches of accumulation through Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. A little higher, of course, over Mount Washington. Snow Ridge, you're downwind of some pretty good snow, lake effect snow. A little bit less down in Massachusetts. So that's how it's going to play out. We'll end on the big map here for the West. And again, the key time period, it all kicks into gear around late 131 or even on 131 up in the Pacific Northwest and runs through about 2.5 into 2.6. Guys, thanks for tuning in here to this On the Snow Before You Go forecast. Take care and have a great day.